Good day, viewers around the world. You are welcome to this very special edition of News Echoes Global Africa. This beautiful day that's termed Valentine's Day. Yes, today is February 14th, and we are here in the studio to give our regular updates. My name is Godwin Iweajua, and joining me are my colleagues, coordinators, brothers, and friends. In faraway Toronto, Canada, is Sir George Chukwu. Sir George, you're welcome to Valentine's Day special.
Yes, good morning, Massive Mark, and the viewers from around the world, from whatever time zone you're in. We just want to welcome you to our show today. It's going to be a fantastic one. We know many of you are enjoying already and licking the sweet taste of what the day brings, but we'll be
Yes,
coming back to you about that later.
good. Thank you, George. Thank you. George, far away Lagos also on ground to give us some updates is our man, Olayinka Raji. Yinka, you're welcome to News Echoes Global Africa.
Thank you, man. Good morning. Good morning, George. Good morning, viewers.
Good morning. Welcome.
It's a bright Valentine's Day.
Wow, bright Valentine's Day. And also bright day for a lot of news that we're seeing. Okay, let's go straight to it, big brothers. Let's begin. Emefiele saga still continues. Emefiele is the CBN, the former CBN, ex-CBN governor, Central Bank of Nigeria governor, Godwin Emefiele. In the news this morning is in the burners, documents that were used to pay election observers about $6.2 million has come out. And the former Secretary of State for Nigeria has testified that that's Boss Mustafa, that he knew nothing about that transaction until he left office. And Boss Mustafa said he doesn't know how this whole thing came up. So Emefiele is on the burner, gentlemen. George, are you following that story? It's still running, and we thought the Emefiele thing will begin to wind down, but now more issues are coming up.
Massive Mark, it is so unfortunate that our country has, sunk so low to such a deplorable state whereby, they will fish out one individual, make him an scapegoat, and then begin to prosecute that individual. When you really look at this whole entire saga concerning Emefiele, you will see there are so many nonsense that doesn't even make any sense. Because to me, they arrested this man. Maybe there was some kind of, he offended somebody somewhere. He's nothing but an scapegoat. And they kept him for so many, violated all his civil rights, and then finally trying to find something to pin on him. I'm not saying that Emefiele is an innocent man. I'm not saying that he did not do anything wrong. But the way the government or the judicial system or EFCC is going about this, it makes our country look so bad. Why is that? Look at this 6.2 million stuff that they're talking about right now. If you really look into it, that he forged some kind of document, and who signed that document? Who signed the document, Massive Mark?
Yes,
the document they're talking about.
They said it was
forged. They're talking about.
Yes, sir. They said
the
it was
document
forged.
They're talking about that he forged, right? Who signed it before money was, was given to him? Who approved it?
That's what the revelation is opening up to. That it's a form. Made up Boss Mustafa's signature. Somebody made up Buhari's signature. That's what they
Somebody made up Buhari's signature. Buhari did not sign it. This thing, there is so much smoke behind all this. This is a setup. They're trying to pin something on this man. They really need to go down to all the way down to the very bottom and find something real. This is not real. I can guarantee you that. This is all made up. This is something they're trying to attach on him in order to find something to jail him or to justify all the nonsense that is going on about this man. It doesn't make any sense to me from
It
where
does.
I'm standing and the
It
way
does.
we are looking at things. These things are all made up. These things are all just trying to justify every wrong that they have done. I'm not saying that he's innocent, but they really need to find something real to attach to this man. There is so much smoke about this whole nonsense, and it doesn't make any sense to me. It makes us look bad, especially the EFCC.
Makes us look bad, especially EFCC.
Yes, it does.
Before we continue, let's bring in all the way from London, UK, our own diva, Fiona. Fiona, good morning.
Hello, good morning, gentlemen.
I was just wondering if there is no female in this show today, I was gonna go out of here angry, but now the best has showed up. So come on, now, let's go for it.
And she
Yes.
looks like
Look
she's
at her.
going
Yeah.
for lunch, Valentine lunch right after the broadcast.
Oh,
Fiona,
yes,
okay, gentlemen, let's continue with the story. Olayinka, Emefiele standing trial before one justice, Muazu, on 20 counts, amended charges bordering on corruption, conspiracy, criminal breach of trust, forgery, false pretense to the tune of $6 million. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Now, how do you're there in Lagos? What's going on? What's happening? Boss Mustafa says he doesn't know about this, and that was his office. So
my only take on this is that I do not like media trials.
Media trials.
Yes. Definitely, Emefiele has a ton of accusations against him, and I'm not sure he can even escape even the least of it. There's a lot of angst against Emefiele, and you see, it is even preposterous for anybody to think that Emefiele is being set up. Emefiele set himself up real badly. In the annals of, I don't think that there has been in the annals of any nation, any country, even the worst country, where the governor of the central bank of that country had intended to vie for the presidency of that country, while still in the position of the governor of central bank. For the idea to even have occurred to Emefiele indicates a certain depth of I don't even know how to describe it. I don't even know how to describe his mental state for him to even attempt to stand for election as the president of the country, and even to attempt to go to court for the court to tell whether he can stand the election or not. So all that I don't like about what is happening now, actually the media trial, let the trial be done professionally. I don't like media trials, but that Emefiele doesn't have a ton of things to against him. That is being set up. That is preposterous. I don't think he's being set up.
Can I respond real quickly? Let me tell you something. If his move, the intoxicating nature of the power of his position, brought him to the point of trying to run for the presidency, let's go ahead and charge him for that. Because most of the things that happened in his office and most of the money that was siphoned out of that country, he knew about it. He knew the people that money went to. And this man, they are trying to shut him up whether you like it or not. I know how these people work. Been there, done that, know all these things. What they're trying to do is to muscle him and shut him up and make sure he doesn't come out to say anything. So let's charge him for being the CBN governor and wanting to come and run for the presidency or whatever that he did. But as for all these bogus nonsense they're putting against him to, justify what they are doing, let me tell you, there are so many people. If you know how these people work, if you know how they work, you will know that his file, his diary is filled. It will take us years to actually go through all the people that siphon money out of that country with his knowledge and his approval. And most of them, he might have been forced to do it.
That is why I do not like all this. That's why I do not like all these media trials. Let there be a proper trial, all done by seasoned intellectuals who know the law. Instead of all these media trials, it's because of these media trials that Mr. George is now bringing in all manner of preposterous reasons for his
preposterous. George is but George, listen to this. What is on ground now? He is. They say he used $6.2 million to pay election observers. Fiona, and he's also accused of impersonating the SGF, that's Boss Mustafa, to illegally obtain that sum of money. And he also the discussion is he forged signatures. Now they can't be laying this, George. They can't be laying this on him if he didn't do this. Fiona, let's hear you before George responds again.
I think to speak firstly to the idea that he wanted to run for the presidency. I think we've talked several times about the idea of power and how it makes people feel. So I think we'll just put that down to hubris and we'll just leave that where it is. I think what is happening in Emefiele's case is that he's now literally in a spider's web. And to come out of that is going to be practically impossible for him because, there's so many things that would have been happening with his knowledge. I think talking about trial by media, I just want to speak to something that Sir Raji said. I think that the reason that we as Nigerians and the Nigerian media in particular is always interested to keep talking about these sort of cases is because we are very used to things coming out and then all of a sudden we don't hear anything else about it. Nothing happens. The story just kind of meets a death that we don't really understand. So I think that's one of the reasons why the media has to remain a voice in all these things happening so that the awareness remains. So, I mean, of course, I wouldn't advocate that anybody is found guilty about something he didn't do. And I wouldn't advocate that that his trial should be solely by the media. But I think it's important for the media to keep these sort of things at the forefront of people's minds. I think it's key. I think
you as a media person is also putting that right. Well, before we continue, let's bring in our man Femi Oke, the DG for Better Niger, and issues like this concerns him a lot. Femi, Emefiele is on the burner, and George is saying he's just being witch hunt. He's just being some people are trying to choke the life out of him.
You see, I'm shaking my head already.
All right, so go ahead. Let's see why you're shaking your head. Tell us why you're shaking your head.
So the thing is, we have to put this into perspective. The CBN has been an office of, or the CBN as a body has been an office of ignominy for several decades. You just go back to the years of Abacha, when Abacha used the CBN as his private bank account and Nigeria's money became his personal money. So whoever is the CBN is a critical person in the office of Nigeria, and especially when it comes to foreign exchange and all these kind of things that are happening in Nigeria, the mismanagement and the not even the mismanagement, but the unfairness in the way that FX is being managed, because it's not transparent, because government is subsidizing it. So there's a benefit for people to try and get access to FX, and whoever's a CBN governor is in a pivotal position. And so, there were the years of the PDP years where the embezzlement was supposed to be corruption isn't stealing, and everyone thought that Mr. Integrity would clean it up. But what we've seen now is that the president, and I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it, Nigerians keep saying this this statement that it's all about leadership. It's all about leadership. The leader cannot be in every office, in every place, at every time to make sure that everything's perfect. So no matter what happens, whoever's in positions of these positions, subsidiaries, they're going to do what they're going to do. Emefiele, you know, look, of course, he's innocent until proven guilty, but the allegations are coming out over and over and over. I think Nigerians should just continue to take it, you know, as it is and wait for the course of justice. But what we shouldn't do is what we tend to do is sentimentalize these kind of issues. What you find now is that people who are of Southeast extraction will now be, you check it. I don't see anyone of any other extraction will say that Emefiele is a witch hunt, is whatever. But if you're of Southeast origin, suddenly is a witch hunt. If he's the Yoruba CBN governor, Yorubas will say it's a witch hunt. If it's so we need to take that crap out. The guy is in his position. Let him face the music. You understand? If he's found innocent, then we just say, great, he's innocent. And even if he's found innocent, for me, it's a lot of crap because you know what happens in Nigeria. The supposedly guilty always get off. Olisametu, Dasuki. We can go on and on and on. Even if they're even found guilty, the president will pardon them. So, you know, the corruption is endemic.
I want to respond quickly to Femo. You know,
before you sorry, let's bring in Bidi Nana from Lagos also. Bidi Nana yeah, it's a full house today. I think it's because
it's a full house. So and Bidi is wearing red too.
Happy Valentine's.
Valentine is hot in this place.
Okay, George, go ahead, George. Let's hear what
you see, the hypocrisy of this whole entire thing is what annoys me. Looking from the outside in without knowing what goes on the inside. Most of the time we look at it or we just attack anybody that comes and says certain things. There are things that the public suspects, but they never know. They don't know the truth behind it. They don't know how, you know, the money is shared. They don't know when it is shared, how it is shared, and all those type of little things. The disjointment of the whole entire system is what is so annoying. Because if the whole system was kind of connected, there are checks and balances, it is easier for us to be able to monitor the crude oil that have been stolen from from river states, you know, internationally with the possible knowledge of the government and all the powers that be. All those things are there. Even to us, the oil that is the crude oil that is coming and a lot of money that is coming into Nigeria that is unaccounted for. The CBN governor knows about it and he will know where it went or whom it went to. So when you have all these little arms and everything that are disjointed and things are flowing here without the left knowing and all those type of things, this is the reason why we are in a state that we are today. I believe that if Tinubu, can be able to go back to the foundation of this whole entire thing and begin to restructure everything and put it all together, you know, and see whether we can be able to put, you know, both the taxes and everything, each department, NMPC, all of them, bring them to account so that if there's somebody doing something in certain governmental arm, the other people could be able to flag it and know what is really going on. That is the whole entire thing. You see this man, they didn't have nothing on him. They just suspected that something was wrong. They're cooking up something against him. I'm not saying he's innocent. He is not innocent in my own book, but he's an scapegoat. Simple.
George is hitting it on the head, right in the head. Bidi,
scapegoat, like it or not. That's how it is.
There's no way.
Bidi,
he can be described as a scapegoat. There's no way.
He is.
Listen, he's the man at the center. He's the dragon in the middle. He's the dragon in the middle, orchestrating everything.
There's no way. There's no
way. Bidi, the discussion is on Emefiele and the new allegation on him. It's a 20-count allegation on corruption, conspiracy, criminal breach of trust, forgery, obtaining money by trick and all that. Now, what's your view? Is he being witch hunt or because we saw what Emefiele was doing? George, I don't know if you are forgetting some things. We saw the number of cars Emefiele bought to run as president and his campaign office and everything. We saw all of that. So, I mean, how you a CBN governor and you're trying to also become a president overnight. I mean, I
Let
don't understand.
BD speak, because I've got something to say about that. But let BD speak. Go on, BD.
Where did he get the money from?
It's okay.
Let BD go, BD. Go, BD.
It's,
Really good.
it's okay. You see, you know what Nigerian is going through? It's what they have brought upon themselves. I don't want to stay here and tell you Emefiele is free or what. The problem with Nigerians is that we don't always learn to tackle issues from the background, from the root cause. Emefiele is a banker. I will tell you for free that majority of the problem we have in Nigeria emanate from banking sectors. I will tell you for free. It is true. Now, everybody's talking about Emefiele. It's not just Emefiele. Do you understand? Now, Tinubu few days ago was relieved some people who claim was not loyal to him. Emefiele was appointed by Buhari. And we remember when the courts gave an order to continue using a certain Naira, that was 2 years ago, Buhari called the bluff of the courts. And Emefiele is an employer of Buhari. He is mandated to obey Buhari. Do you understand? Now, Emefiele is being dragging around, and nobody is mentioning Buhari in the center of all these things. No one is calling Buhari, who castrated everything that has happened in Nigeria. Do you understand? Now, why people are telling you Emefiele is an scapegoat is because a lot of people have done what he did, and nobody's talking about them. Nobody's calling them for questioning. It's about who you know and who you are. Femi talked about Dasuki. Was Dasuki arrested? So
Yes.
that's the problem of Nigeria. It's not just about Emefiele. It's about we. Now people are looking at Emefiele, and people are not looking at what brought Emefiele to what he did. If we want to get these things right, Buhari should be called for questioning. Do you understand? Because he castrated everything that Emefiele did. He gave him wings to fly. But nobody is talking about it. But everybody is focusing on Emefiele and leaving other people. So we can't achieve that.
That's your own take there. That the superior should also be brought in. His principal should be brought in.
I don't agree.
Go ahead, Femi.
No.
Let Femi speak.
Let Dr. speak. Go on.
Okay.
No, you speak. You speak now.
Ola, you can speak.
Okay. I do not think that because Buhari appointed Emefiele as governor of central bank, he owed his allegiance to Buhari. It was not a personal position. It was
federal.
He was there as a central bank governor for the nation, not for Buhari's sake.
Remember, now, CBN are not independent in Nigeria. They are not. I hope you know. CBN cannot act on their own without the approval of presidents in Nigeria. I hope you are aware of that.
I think we are veering into too many sections. I am aware of certain CBN governors who could not be taken for granted. I'm aware that starting from probably like Clementi Song, even up to Adamu, who was a journalist. The president could not take chances, could not take any liberties with the central government, with the central bank governor. Unfortunately, especially in Emefiele's case, a banker was appointed central bank governor. It is an anomaly. We cannot put a banker as a central bank governor because he doesn't have the mental state to be able to control the fiscal policies of the country. He's a banker. All he does is to approve loans and then No, it's not necessary. It's not a governor.
Who would you appoint, Raj? Who would you appoint instead of somebody who is knowledgeable about banking system? I don't understand what Raj is coming from.
Can I come in now?
Are you going to bring a novice? I don't know nothing about international movement of money or nothing like that, and then going to appoint him.
Can I come in now? So
can Raj just answer, because he's making a comment. I want him to answer. Who would you
that comment can just lie. Let that comment lie. Let that comment lie. The point of fact is, Emefiele was not appointed by Buhari per se. He was from the PDP era. He came in and Buhari left him there. So he wasn't actually appointed by Buhari. He's not Buhari's man. Buhari, and I think he left him there. Let me finish, BD, please. Buhari left him there. Buhari left him there for balance, because he seemed to be that he knew what he was doing, and he left him there for balance, to make the impression that the government is balanced, we're ethnically balanced, and so on. And you had someone from the southeast controlling the CBN and the economy. But the fact that he wanted to run for presidency should be a signal for you, a danger signal for all of us. That alone should tell you that something is amiss there. And I'm telling you that the reason why he wanted to run for presidency, and this is an assumption that we should make, which is realistic, is that if he had become the president, because he had had access to so much money, that he most probably thought he could buy his way into the presidency. And if he had become the president, he would have been immune from all these allegations. You understand? So he would have cleared the house. He would have done whatever he wanted to do. So this guy is outrageous, and I think we shouldn't use any kind of sentimental views to try and protect him. Look, the thing is, I'm not saying he's innocent or guilty. Let him face the music. You understand? Don't be sentimental about it, because I'm finding BD. I'm sorry. If you look at on the screen now, you're saying it because, oh, Buhari, you keep on talking about Buhari. You're trying to sentimentalize the thing. Forget about all that. The guy, if his allegations are wrong, he should be face the full extent of the law. Anybody else will face their own music. Let them face their own separately. They're not just investigating. They're not just investigating Emefiele. There's so many other people who have been investigated right now.
Right now, gentlemen, it's all good.
Please,
let's
I want to say something before we go. Please, please, just a word. Please, just a word. You remember when they announced the change of our currency? What the Minister of Finance said that time, she said she was not aware. That announcement, that agreement was made from Ajaero. It was a Buhari decision, and everybody know when that decision came. So I'm not saying Emefiele is a saint, but what I'm saying is this: if we really want to fight corruption in Nigeria, we should start from the grassroots, and everyone that is involved should be called and punished. We should not be selective of people that should be punished. That's just the point I'm making.
Thank you very much. Before we go on a break, a quick one, gentlemen. Before we go on a break, please let's let this fly. Okay. We'll come more on this next time. As we watch the court decision. Tinubu to the Super Eagles. I love that outing yesterday. I watched it. He used some words that we really need to emphasize on, gentlemen. He said, you Super Eagles have proven that Nigeria is the greatest. Our greatest strength lies in our diversity. And that's a fact. So let's talk about this before, 3 minutes. Everybody, give your take. Our diversity is our strength. But somehow we lost it during the election. Let's be honest. The politicians played into that thing and twisted it all and used it against us. But Nigeria has been known to have strength in their diversity. George, what's that talk with Tinubu? Because it sounds good in my own ears. Though.
Well, it sounds good in your ears because it is good, and it is the truth. The fact of the matter is, Nigeria is, to me, is what I call the United States of Nigeria, just like United States of America. Diversity is truly our strength, because when you look at, what we play in the middle of our show, the diversity in fashion, in food, in everything, our country actually was designed and kept together for such a time as this, as the best in the world. Only that the 2%ers will not allow us to enjoy anything else. But truly, our diversity is our strength.
Oh, Fiona, our diversity is our strength. I know you are from the South. You have friends and everything from different corners of Nigeria. Tell us how good is that? How good can we be with our diversity?
I think that is a statement of fact, and I think that you only need to watch somebody from outside Nigeria make an attempt to say something negative or derogatory about any Nigerian, and the collective response is you can hear it from anywhere. So I think we are really as diverse a nation as we are, when it comes to things like that, putting ourselves together for joint efforts like that, I think we're very strong at that. Of course, unfortunately, during the last elections, this narrative that you were just speaking to seemed to play into a very dangerous territory. Very, very dangerous territory, which I'm hoping that we're going to be able to come out of. So I agree that yes, absolutely. As a nation, we're very, even within my state, we're so diverse, and that's just a single state. So I agree that indeed we are very diverse, but we can stand as one if we want to. Yeah.
Beautiful. Within her state, that's the Delta state. Delta state is like 10 countries in one. Raji, let's hear that. Our diversity is our strength. But Lagosians suffered a lot during the election on that. Raji, is that not so?
I really don't see how we have been able to garner this strength in diversity. Because at every point, that diversity should come to become a strength. Unless it is in football, that diversity becomes a division. And I think talking about diversity it's just mere use of words. Until we fix the nationality question, which is the foundation of our diversity, which will be the foundation that will give our diversity the strength that is inherent in it. We just be making doing lip service to this strength in diversity. We are not taking advantage of that strength in that diversity.
Raj, you're fired this morning, Raj.
Bidi, what's your take on that? Few minutes. Tell us.
Well, I'm happy
you schooled in the Southwest, and you're from the Southeast, so that was playing well with you on that side. Go ahead.
I'm happy it's coming from our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because if we want to tell ourselves the truth, he personally orchestrated the changing of narrative with ethnic during the election. He started it. So I'm happy it's coming from him. I just wish he will make a U-turn and use that word he has said to them and use it to turn Nigeria around. And another thing, he didn't talk about that when I was watching that. He didn't talk about Alex Iwobi. Alex Iwobi has been heavily bullied in Nigeria. That guy is going through a lot. I expected him to say something about that. And if they are listening, they should say something about that. Nigerians should be addressed. They've hurt that guy so much.
Nigeria are you listening? Yes, a lot of people are listening right now. Alex Iwobi should not be victimized, should not no cyber bullying. Please stop that. Football is like this. You win some, you lose some. That somebody didn't come up to your expectation doesn't mean that person is trash. I mean, this is the same Alex Iwobi we were all hailing, Arsenal and everything, and all of a sudden now he's like the most hated man. Femi, you are a ball analyst. What's on this?
Well, I think I thank Bidi for what she was saying. This is the season of love, you understand, with Valentine's Day. And I think, and I'm doing a show tomorrow, which is saying that Nigeria needs tribal love, not tribal hatred, you understand? And, there is a generational gap in what we're seeing here. You can see Egmont there saying what he's saying. And listen to the young people, they're saying something different. There is a big difference between the elders and the youth. The youth are not as tribalized as the elders want us to be. Okay, and it's the elders, the politicians, because they're mostly the elders, who are turning us into tribal hatred because they use it as a tool in their political shenanigans. Yes, but if you go down to the normal Nigerians, and I want to thank George for saying the 2%ers, because these people are minority. They're a vocal minority. They're not the majority of Nigerians that spread hatred amongst themselves because they're spreading hate. They want us to hate Fulanis because they call it a Fulani invasion. They want us to hate Igbos because they say they want to take over Lagos. This is what's going on. Whereas we are all Nigerians. It's not about anybody else. You understand? We are all one. And as you say, in football and in sports, and not even in the governance as well. And in ordinary, you saw there was a video where youth girls in a hostel in one of the universities, when Nigeria won the match, you know, for the semi-finals, they all stood up and sang the national anthem. When they were singing, they didn't share whether they were for Igbo, Tiv, Irobo, Shekiri. They sang the national anthem in unison. That will show you what true Nigerians are. And remember that the majority of Nigerians are the youth. They are telling you that this is what we believe in and this is where we're going. So no matter what people, I mean, I don't want to mention names, are saying, to me, they'll be proved to be irrelevant. A lot of their agitations are dead on arrival. No one is confused about their national identity. You can be both Yoruba and Nigerian, there's no conflict. You can be Igbo and Nigerian, there's no conflict. It doesn't matter where you originate. You can be Italian American, you can be Japanese American, Korean American, but you're still American. When you leave the shores, like what I forgot her name now, the lady in the middle said, you're not going there. Yeah, Fiona, you're not going there with the Igbo passport. You're not going there with a Biafra passport or Dudua passport. That doesn't exist. You got your green pali, you understand? And that's what you are. So don't be confused.
That's what you are.
I like that.
Wow. Today is blowing hot.
By the way, before we break, I want to hear you. Femo, you're my man. Listen to this, though. Listen to this. You know, the beauty of this whole entire thing, okay? In every situation, you can always find the good, the bad, and the ugly. But the bottom line to it is, when you look at the Constitution, and I don't mean our regular Constitution, I mean how together we are, and the divine purpose of the whole entire nation, whether it was put together by British people, or put together by by chance or by whatever the case might be, if we can harness the beauty of who we are as one Nigeria, I swear there is no nation. Nigeria will be, what is Dubai? It will be the best country in the world. They will be coming after us with everything that they have, just to come and enjoy with us, because we are blessed beyond comprehension. TV is good. Some people are using it for bad situation. Telephone is good. Some people are using it for fraudulent means. But at the end of the day, it's still good.
Wonderful. Listen, you have 2,100 people listening and hearing this, and we're happy we're all saying this because we are that new Nigerian that believe in ourselves. We believe in our diversity. Guys, let's go on a small break. It's very, very hot out here. It's so wonderful having you all say what you say. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back. Viewers, this is it. News Echoes Wednesday, Global Africa. And you can hear what they're saying here. Beautiful words. So we'll be back. Thank you.
Arise, oh, compatriots, Nigeria's call, obey to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. Shall never be in vain to serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom. unity.
This country has some of the most extraordinary culinary diversity in the world. I'm talking about Nigeria. This first dish is amala abula, made popular by the Yoruba people in southwest Nigeria. It starts with amala made from dried yam and then is covered in a variety of soups. Next we have ofe nsala, a white soup that is synonymous with the Igbo people of southeastern Nigeria. It goes best with fufu, or akbo as the Igbos call it. Next we have suya, the most well-known food of the Hausa and Fulani people of northern Nigeria. Meat is covered in a peanut-based powder called yaji and cooked over an open fire. This is banga and starch, a classic of the Urhobo people of Delta State. Lastly, we have onunu, a plantain-based swallow of the Izon people in South Nigeria. We are eating it with fisherman soup, popular throughout this whole region. And of course, we don't forget the jollof rice. This is popular everywhere in Nigeria. I think what makes Nigeria so great is the diversity of all the different people coming together. These beautiful ethnic groups living side by side, sharing culture and cuisine is what makes Nigeria such an amazing country to visit. Nigerians should be so proud of that cultural heritage, as there is so much more that unites than divides them.
Yes, viewers, we are back. We are back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Viewers, we're back. News Echoes Global Africa today, Valentine's Day, 14th February 2024. And we are talking all manner of updates. Guys, there's this thing that's happening. Federal government has now provided grains as palliative. Insecurity in Nigeria. Now, the Nigerian Labour Congress President Joe Ajaero says it's an insult for government to use grains as palliatives. Let's hear from you all. Let me start with Fiona. Fiona, grains as palliatives. I think it was on Thursday, Tinubu ordered that there should be a release of about 102,000 metric tons of rice, maize, millet, gari from the government reserves and store, and should be made available to Nigerians so that people can have food. But somebody says it looks like an insult also to Nigerians. You know, everything, there's people look at it from the other way around. Fiona, is it an insult?
I think I don't really understand what that is meant to do as a cure for what's going on. I don't really understand. I mean, this is a peacetime situation, so it's not like there's war. It's not. I don't really understand the giving of grains to people. I don't really, because I'm looking at it, I'm thinking it's all well and good for somebody to give me a bag of rice, or I don't know, 3 cups of rice or whatever, you know, and I can eat that today and like tomorrow. But what is the long-term sustainable plan? What actually are we doing so that people are going to be able to live sustainable lives going forward? Because it's like teach a man to fish and they can feed themselves for the rest of their life. And if you just give them a fish, that's just for the here and now. So I don't really understand how that correlates or collocates with what's, you know, the long way, the long term. I don't really understand what that's supposed to do. I don't understand if there's other thinking behind it. I mean, I'm here to hear it, but you know, I don't understand what that's supposed to do. That just seems to me like putting a plaster over like a massive gaping hole. I don't understand.
Okay, so you're on the side of the NLC president. Raji, you were saying something before. Yes, go ahead. Let's hear you. No, but people are hungry, Raji. People are hungry.
Yes, people are hungry, and there's food in the market. There's food in the market. There are various kinds of food in the market. There just is no money to buy them. Okay. No money to buy.
And it is expensive.
There's no money to buy. I bought something. Last week. By the time I went back to the market, the price has gone about twice. How do you gallop after such galloping inflation? They can bring all the food results from Ukraine, all the food results from the US. What happens thereafter? Now, I want to go back a few years. During the Buhari days, when the banditry and all the things started, when most of the food basket of the country, which is Benue, Plateau, were being ravaged by bandits. I said that look, this is a war. This is a war that is prepared to be felt in the next 3 years, when there's no more food, because of the farmlands. Most of the people have been displaced from their homelands, from their farmlands, into IDP camps. So whatever is happening now has its roots about 3-4 years ago. And okay, after we have exhausted the food banks, what happens? Are we growing food? Are the people who are planters, who are farmers, are they planting? So after 3 months, what happens? I agree with what Madam Fiona just said. We are not in a war situation. We are just giving people the same way I'm against palliatives. After the palliatives, for how long are you going to keep palliatives? So that's my view.
Thank you very much. So we're all aligning on the same. BD, let's hear you. Then we hear from George too. Then Femi will give us his final thing. Go ahead, BD. Okay. Yes.
About 4 months ago, the federal government took to the streets of Nigeria, saying they are distributing 5,000 to Nigerians because of hardship. And people criticize that is not the solution to the problem in Nigeria. And now they've come, grains of food. So if you give them that grain of food and they eat it after 1 week or after 2 days, you're even giving them just grain of food. Are you giving them kerosene? Are you giving them gas? Are you giving them salt? A lot of things, they contribute to make the food. Do you understand? That is not what Nigerians need. See, let me tell you people, there is food in Nigeria, just that Nigerians cannot access it. It's expensive. People cannot buy it. We still have food in Nigeria. What is happening in Nigeria today is as a result of what we did not pay attention to a few years ago. Today, no Nigerians can farm. People can no longer go to their farm. If you remember, during the Jonathan Buhari administration, there was a lot of money released for agriculture. People went into agriculture. But we lost all those money because the farm, the forests were not safe. People ran out of farm. People cannot farm. A lot of crops were destroyed. That is where we're at today. And if we don't do something drastically, in the more years to come, it's going to become worse. So sharing grains of food, sharing money is not the solution to what Nigerians is going through. All these things makes a Nigerian government look like a confused set of people. This is not a way to solve this problem. Okay. An average Nigerian cannot afford anything. Nigerian money is now valueless. I'm not making mouths. Go into the Nigerian market with 100,000 naira. You cannot buy anything. Let me shock you people. As of December, a carton of Indomie was sold for 3,800. As of today, that same carton of Indomie is selling for 11,500. Okay. Now, for you people to understand what we are talking about, yes, people can no longer afford anything. Go to the market, things are there, but you can't buy it. Go with 100,000 naira, you can't buy anything. Are we talking about medication? People are dying because they can't afford the cost of medication. So sharing this food, it's funny. If this is the level of thinking or reasoning our government can bring up at this stage, then we'll have a problem.
BD, George, you've had BD hit it very hard. And Fiona was saying something about that Indomine thing. George, so you all align with Comrade Joe Ajaero that says it's an insult to Nigerians that the government is providing grains as palliative for food insecurity. George, what's your take on this? Is it an insult?
Well, I believe it's an insult because we don't have the infrastructure, the logistics to do these things. It's not there. We don't have it. Look at during the pandemic, what happened. Food was provided, palliatives were provided. What did they do with it? They just stocked it somewhere until one day somebody found out where they were being stacked, and then they went in there and started doing. See, the infrastructure, the logistics to do all these, whatever they're talking about, even sharing of money, it is not there. So, it's almost like a temporary trial and error type of measure that they don't know what to do. The truth of the matter is that they are completely confused beyond measure. It's almost like seriously, they're in an ocean, drowning. They don't know where to put their hands to save the lives of the people, because they themselves have no solution whatsoever. I mean, seriously, the problem is so dire in Nigeria right now. I saw a very funny video last night. A guy was crying about, two sachets of water for 500 naira. And the guy was crying and crying and crying. What is really going on? The point about this whole thing is, I keep saying it, this thing did not start with Buhari, with Ahmed Tinubu. It did not. These are the effects of the shock that took place for 8 solid years of what you call kakistocracy government that did not even know their left from their right. Everything was going everywhere. Let me tell you, whether we like it or not, let's tell ourselves the truth. Buhari actually destroyed that nation. And the man is trying to grasp. This man don't know. Let me tell you something, whether we like it or not. If Buhari, if Tinubu had taken the government from Jonathan, you would have seen the genius of this man. He's confused because this thing was left in shambles. He doesn't even know how to, bring it all together. Because when he turns to the left, the right is falling. He turns to the front, the back is falling. And these are the effects of that non-governmental government that took place in Nigeria.
Yeah, but
sorry.
They were this in one party. Yeah, somebody was shaking his face while you were talking. Yeah. Femi, go ahead.
It's true.
It's your party we're talking about here now. It's your party.
But let me. I mean, sorry, I got cut. I don't know what happened to my internet. It was messed up. But I want to go back to what Edwin was saying, and he was very contradictory. And he started off by saying that he went to the market. There's food in the market, he said, and it's not a problem of food. It's about the price. And then he went on to say that, oh no, the problem is because of Buhari and the Fulanis that invaded the Benue state and they stopped food. No, you didn't say Buhari, but you know what I'm saying. You didn't say that, but the idea is that the Fulani invasion, which started under Buhari government, is what caused the problem. So if there was a Fulani invasion, how comes there's loads of food in the market? Let me finish.
You got me wrong.
Hold on, let me finish. I'm just saying my own, please.
I'm not saying
let him finish.
There's no food. There's no food because of the Fulani invasion. I'm saying that is another problem that you are going to face.
Okay, so you never said there's another problem. That's why I said there's a Okay, let me finish. So that's why I said there's a contradiction in the terms. There's food in the market. It's about price. It's not that there's no food. But so when there's hunger in the land, let me carry on, please. If there's hunger in the land, what is happening is that people, it's not that there's no food, they cannot afford it. So what you then do is that you bring in food to suppress, hopefully there's an increased supply, and that will hopefully push down price. That's the idea. Whether that will become a reality, I don't know. And the long-term situation, like what Fiona was saying, is that you don't just give people, because this idea of palliatives, if you just give palliatives, if you just give them money or whatever it is, it's not going to solve the problem. The problem in Nigeria for me is that we're not growing our food at the right pace to meet our population. Our population is growing at such a phenomenal rate, and we're still using Ada and hoe to cut our to farm. You need to have mechanized farming. Look, when you saw in France, when the farmers went on protest, and in Spain and other places, do you know how many thousands of tractors they were blocking the road? How many tractors are there in Benue State? Are there up to 1,000? How many tractors in Ogun State? So, and you say you want to feed a nation of 230 or so million, growing every minute. You need mass mechanized farming. You need mass processing of thingy. You need all these things, which are not to be done by the federal government, because remember, agriculture is on the concurrent list. It's not on the exclusive list. Our state governments are doing bogus. They're just wasting time. They're not doing anything. They should free up the sector so that people could come and work. Most of the youth don't want to do farming. They're not doing the farming because it's all by hand, isn't it? They don't want to do. They want to do mechanized. If every farmer could have a tractor, you see the youth will fill up our farms tomorrow. You understand? So we need to be growing enough food, not just for Nigeria, but for the rest of West Africa. In fact, West Africans are buying Nigerian food now. Why? Because Naira has crashed. So Nigerian food is cheaper now. It's better for them to buy Nigerian food than to buy their own food, just like Nigerian oil. So we ought to be used as a weapon to say, okay, let's galvanize ourselves and produce. And all these people saying that Nigeria is invaded by Fulanis or whatever, I would say to them, how many villages out of the hundreds of thousands of villages in Nigeria, because there are hundreds of thousands of villages, how many of them are being invaded by Fulani? Let's tell ourselves the truth. Are they up to 1,000? Are they even up to 100? So this is just an excuse. It is a political tool for people to obfuscate their responsibilities. Those places that are being attacked are few and sparse. You understand? It's not everywhere in Benue State that's been attacked. It's not every local government in Benue State that's been attacked. There's specific villages, specific things, and there are many reasons towards why those things are happening. You know, people are saying Fulani invading Southwest. How many villages in the Southwest have been attacked? Now you're calling it an invasion. Is it possible for them to invade the whole area of Southwest, really? Or they're invading Southeast? Is it possible? It's not possible.
Gentlemen, you are all speaking intelligently. It's jamming up here. Valentine's Day, and a lot of things are going on. Let's take it down now. Let's not go further on that, so we can cover up what we have. There's a great man I admire a lot in Nigeria, senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana. Femi Falana is giving the federal government a suggestion that could help boost our Naira. He says Nigeria should join BRICS, sell crude oil in Naira. And I studied that whole statement and studied the whole thing. And I said, yes, this could be a way out for us. So senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has urged the federal government to discard all these policies they're bringing out, World Bank, IMF, and all these things, but look into joining the BRICS. He says federal government should reduce its reliance on economic predictions and some of the things IMF is trying to put us into, but rather join the BRICS. The BRICS is a group of nations that are pretty doing well. Our man, Godwin, is not here to say some of these things. But guys, what do you say? Join the BRICS, use our Naira to sell the oil. This will boost our Naira, and Nigeria will be back on its feet. Go ahead, Raji.
You know, it's like I said about our diversity, we talk too much. You can't just join BRICS. You can't just join BRICS. You know, Nigeria that attempted to join BRICS. First of all, put your house in order. Put your house in order. The guys in BRICS will not just accept Nigeria because our house is not in order. And then coming to World Bank and IMF, anytime Nigeria seeks advice or help from IMF and World Bank, I shudder. Can't we learn from history that these two organizations do not look for our interest? They are not interested in it. They are interested in enslaving us. The first time Nigeria got itself into issues, into problem, was when Obasanjo was advised by IMF that Nigeria was underborrowed. At that time, Nigeria was the lender to IMF. So from that first $1 billion loan that IMF persuaded Nigeria to take. By the time Obasanjo came back in 1999, it had gone up to about 66 billion as debt. Let us not, anytime, we should not listen to IMF and we should not listen to the World Bank. We should not go borrowing from any of these two. Whatever the situation is, we should look inward and not borrow.
Thank you very much, Raji.
Until then, we can't join BRICS.
Okay, so but you agree with him on the IMF, not listening to IMF and World Bank, but the BRICS opinion is out of it. George, what do you say? You know, you guys, everybody here speaks out of their heart. That's what makes us dynamic. Go ahead, George. Say.
Well, like I said before, I believe what Femi Falana was actually trying to say is simplest said than done, because there are so many other, affiliations, ally with countries, and countries, whether they have your best interest at heart or not, all those type of things. One of the reasons why I honestly believe that there is a concerted effort to keep most of these developing countries, they don't want us to come up, is simply because some of the suggestions and the handouts and all those type of things that they do to us, they give to us is just to keep us in bondage. That's basically what it is. Yeah, maybe he is right in his assertions, but it's not easy to do such, because we are affiliation with Britain, our affiliation with United States of America. Try to find out if Tinubu today decides to put Nigeria first in everything that he wants to do, he will not last 6 months in that place. They will eliminate him.
Okay.
They will eliminate him. That's all I'm going to say about that.
That's all.
And it's not going to come from internal. It's not going to come from internal. It is going to be from these countries that we are talking about.
We have 5 minutes extra. The network has signaled and said we can run with it. Fiona, the BRICS is looking strong. It's an economic bloc, and the BRICS has some strong countries there: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and these countries are also forming strong alliance. Their GDP altogether is increasing. Everything is going very well for them. So don't you think aligning with a friend that is doing well could help a person? Fiona?
I think what Femi Falana San said is, from an economic viewpoint, I think it's theoretically it works. In theory, that works. But as usual in Nigeria, our things defy what theory says it should happen. So as much as theoretically it works. I'm not sure with all the, I think Sir Godwin also alluded to the fact that there's so many intricacies involved in doing that sort of thing. I think Egypt or Morocco are also part of BRICS as well at the moment, or might be part of BRICS. So I think that, our house is in the shambles. I mean, as a proposition, would a group of people who are doing fantastically well, would they want to accommodate us with our current status as we are at the moment? I'm not sure that would be I don't see any group thinking, oh, this looks like a good idea. So I think in theory, yes, that's a fantastic idea, but the actual practical implementation of that, I think, is at this moment in time for Nigeria is a bridge too far.
Wow. That's an economist speaking anyway. Thank you very much. Finally, let's hear from our man, Femi. Femi, one thing I know is, like Femi Falana said, he said the federal government should reduce its reliance on economic predictions. So it looks like Nigeria runs on economic predictions, and that's crazy. I mean, how do you run your economy on predictions, on hearsay? And Femi, tell us, you're on ground on this.
I'll have you know that I'm not a fan of Femi Falana. I just find him as an activist, and most of his activism is just for the grandstanding. He's not a serious person in my eyes. Now, a lot of what he said is just hogwash. One, look, borrowing is not that we are going and begging. We don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. That's why we have to go and borrow. If we had a choice, we wouldn't borrow. So we have to borrow. Who are we going to borrow from? Which are the international institutions they have to borrow from? You have either you're going to borrow from the IMF or the World Bank, or where? You're going to go to Access Bank or which bank? So let's be realistic on that front. Now, with the terms of BRICS, BRICS is definitely a fundable thing that they don't want us. Is we that stopped ourselves from joining. Because in the last time when they were adding countries, you had Saudi Arabia, Iran, and whatever, wanted Nigeria to come on board, and we said, oh, hold on a minute, we want to think about it. The same thing we did when it came to the African Free Trade Center. Oh, no, we want to think about it. We're like the last people to join on. We're always the last. It's not because Nigeria likes protectionism. We want to protect, we want to get our house in order, we want to do this, we want to do that. We're always covering up. We should forget that crap and move out. You understand? Get out into the real world, because there's opportunities to be obtained by being in the BRIC fold. Why would Saudi Arabia be joining? Why would Egypt be joining? And other countries will be joining. And then we say we're not. What are we so great a nation that we can't take advantage of that thing? What is so fantastic about Nigeria? There's nothing fantastic about Nigeria. Nigeria is actually a poor country, and we should tell ourselves the truth. But we like to deceive ourselves. We're the giant of Africa. There's no point telling ourselves that we have resources. If those resources are not being exploited, you have zero resources, because the resources have to be utilized in order to be saying you've got resources. So on paper, you may have access to all these minerals under the ground, you have all this land or whatever. You're not even farming the land. So what are you talking about? So we need exposure. And I think, and also we need to diversify ourselves away from the shackles of the World Bank, IMF, and the Americans and the Europeans. By going into BRICS, we remove ourselves a little bit from that shackle. So I don't see what Falana is talking about. We need a societal revolution. We're not going to have any societal revolution.
You've overheated. George, I know you want to say something, but what I want to talk about now is we're giving our viewers, we have quite a number of them here, guys. We're giving our viewers our Valentine wishes. So I want to start with you, George, because it's Valentine's Day, and it's a global holiday, global celebration. Yes, go ahead, George. What's your wish there for Valentine?
So I began the two like talk. Animals, the human form. But the man gonna be like, but you more hustle if you want job. I just wanted to extend my.
I like that. When are you bringing your record out?
Anyway, I'm sending love and warmth to all our viewers around the world. Happy Valentine's Day. May your hearts be filled with joy, compassion, connection today. Listen, if you are lonely, find somebody to mingle with. Life is too short to be spent alone. Find somebody, do good to somebody. Even if you are lonely, you can extend love by going to give out some of that love to somebody by sharing your meal, whatever. Flower, give a stranger a flower. Find somebody who is lonely. Just, touch their heart with warmth today. That's my wish for all.
Wow.
Sabigia, come on. Let's hear it for girl. Not that you like too much. You have to go ahead.
Fiona, are you feeling it?
Go ahead. Give us your Valentine. Wow, and our viewers are increasing also. Go ahead, Sarah.
Well, first of all, I just want to say, Sir Godwin, that was a fantastic rendition of Aerostyles Russia. I love that. So that was really nice. As you all know, I'm anti-establishment, anti-monarchy, anti-everything. So I don't believe in things like Valentine's Day. I kind of think that love is not just for today, but it's for every day. And we should do our best to show love at all times. However, for the purposes of today's program, I wish everybody watching and all the gentlemen here a happy Valentine's Day.
Nice. Raji, let's hear you, Raji. Raji, we know you're a grandfather. Your kids are all over in America, everywhere. Let them hear you say there's something. Go ahead.
I just brought out a dash of red to my paraphernalia so that I'll be seen to be part of the celebration. I wish everybody good love. I wish all of us enough love.
Thank
The
you.
world would be better if we show enough love to each other.
Sure.
It is not on a special day, it is on every
Sure.
day.
Always.
I wish us all enough.
Thank you very much, Iraji. Thank you. Yes, Femo. I know you
Fem-
love
Yeah.
a man.
Fema,
you love
when I love a man, I love
With
a
a,
man.
with a name like Femi, I don't have a choice. So what I say is, look, I'm I'm spreading love. I'm spreading love to everybody. I believe in one Nigeria and a better Nigeria. And in that philosophy, I say that, look, when you're going out there to love, yeah, you don't need to know where the person's coming from. You look at her face, you look at his face, you look at his body, you like him. You don't know where he comes from. He's one Nigeria. He's an African. He's whatever tickles your fancy. Spread love. Be together. Let's have tribal love, not tribal hate. That's my message for today.
Nice
Come
And
on,
tomorrow
man.
we'll be talking about the tribal hate. Viewers, this is it.
So,
This is it. Finally, we've come to this wonderful time of Valentine's Day. We're mixing it up with our updates. Like you all know, Valentine's Day is the feast of the Saint Valentine, and it's observed annually in February 14th. Guys, thank you so much. We took 12 minutes more,
just
but it's worth it.
something for Femi.
Just something for Femi. Go ahead.
Yes, I want Femi to know that I'm from Osun State. My wife
Wow.
is from Anambra State.
Oh, fantastic. More love, more love, more blessings.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
One Niger. So that means, Papa, you're a true one Niger. You're a true one Niger.
Niger.
Raji is from Osun State. Wife is from Anambra State. So, and he has grandchildren, children from married to different corners of Africa, Nigeria. This man is global. This man is.
What's your favorite soup from Anambra State that your wife cooks for you?
Let's ask him. Onubu.
Well, it's
Bitter leaf soup.
well, Onubu is good.
Okay.
It's also the white soup. Is good, yes.
Okay,
White soup.
On a
fantastic.
regular basis, I have white soup every Friday.
Wow.
Wow.
Fiona went like this. Friday. Have a beautiful day.
Friday.
Enjoy your val. Tomorrow we'll be with me. Everybody, thank you. Bye bye.
I get more.